Here's another example. You want another example of why Tucker can get away with saying we're about to have, we could have a race war, could be happening, white victims, white genocide, and all we should do is just like worry about who's an American and just let that be our guiding light. Barack Obama, not a real American. AOC, not a real American. Oh, here's Dan Crenshaw, Congressman, to tell us about somebody else who's not a real American. What are the American values again that we would hear? Like no censorship, freedom of expression, right? Here is Dan Crenshaw talking about how somebody should lose their American...
Someone needs to be canceled.
Their American credentials because of what they have said.
She turned her back on the flag during the anthem, and she also put a black T-shirt over her face that said, activist athlete.
We don't need any more activist athletes. You know, she should be removed from the team. The entire point of the Olympic team is to represent the United States of America. That's the entire point. Okay, so, you know, it's one thing when these NBA players do it. Okay, fine, we'll just stop watching. But now the Olympic team, and it's multiple cases of.
I mean, this is a perfect representation of America.
Yeah, I feel represented.
Certainly. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, why does Crenshaw have to say what's representation and what's not? It sounds like he's tone policing.
I mean, it's
Where's our freedom of expression, bro?
Go ahead, continue.
These NBA players do it. Okay, fine, we'll just stop watching. But now the Olympic team, and it's multiple cases of this. They should be removed. That should be the bare minimum requirement, is that you believe in the country representing. But look,
Believe in the country. What does that mean?
I mean, yeah, I do believe that the United States exists. I do believe in it.
Do you have proof of that?
I mean,
how do you know it exists?
Like, to the extent we're going to mythologize America and I'm going to buy into it, that sort of like speak your mind thing is what I believe in America.
Right, exactly.
right, I know. And I mean, like, also, it's amazing to me how conservatives, like now, you know, we talk about their evolution on climate change, right? Where, okay, now they acknowledge it exists, but, you know, we really shouldn't do anything about it, or how much is it really being created by human activity? But there's mostly an acknowledgement that there's some creation. This talking point hasn't evolved since the 1968 raised fists at the Olympics protests. I mean, they're still doing the same thing. They're still trying to cancel people for protesting during the anthem, Americans, in order to further black equality and say essentially stop killing black people in the streets. So these like pro-human rights protests and acts of defiance, when then there's a national stage on them, I mean, they're still saying the exact same stuff that they were saying back in the 1960s. They haven't changed it at all.
But it does, this is what makes it so easy for a guy like Tucker Carlson to say in one breath, we're going to have white genocide here. And in the other breath, all we need is Americans to get along. When he says Americans, he doesn't have to say, I'm only talking about white Americans, because he knows that somebody else on some other channel or time slot on Fox or some other location is making the argument that a lot of these people who are not white are not really Americans.
Right.
There it is.
Oh, and also just further just that one point I made earlier, that also shows how snail-like and non-existent the pace has been in terms of, or not non-existent, but snail-like, glacier-like, glacially the pace of equal rights for black people in this country has been. That, like, you know, we're still able to apply the same exact bigotry in, you know, 70 years later.
What's old is new. Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.